Today on the Morning Edition, new video capturing the moment a truck barrels into Pelmeni restaurant. We've got the latest on the hunt for the driver who took off.
Plus, in Juneau, the school funding face-off continues after the governor's veto. Lawmakers pivot. The new proposal that could still bring more money to Alaska schools and what's standing in the way. And later,
I would say to them, keep going and you'll get through it if you just keep going.
Wise words from a 9-year-old who is beating the odds. How her Make-A-Wish trip gave her family unforgettable memories that they will carry with them forever. As the Morning Edition starts now. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday, one of my favorite days because it's Make-A-Wish Day.
Yeah, we're not too far away from 1 million miles, and there's still time left in the month, so we'll see where we're at in just a bit.
I know, yeah, we'll have that number, so donate if you can. Meantime, though, weather-wise, yesterday was very nice. Kind of feeling like summer is knocking on the door.
And in fact, yesterday was the warmest day we've seen all year long, and we're going to see those temperatures once again climbing back into the upper 40s and lower 50s later today. We officially hit 53 degrees, which is the third time this month that we've climbed into the 50s. If you remember earlier in the month, we hit 52 twice, and then yesterday was that day where we did hit right around 53 degrees. We are waking up this morning to those temperatures sitting in the mid to upper 30s. You can see winds remaining fairly light. Now, what we're going to be watching through the day is pretty much more sunshine to be expected. With that being said, there is some rain out towards Prince William Sound. If this manages to hold together as it pushes back off towards the northwest, we could see some rain showers later this afternoon into the evening hours. So we'll be watching for that. If that doesn't arrive, we'll just hold on to a bit more in the way of some cloud coverage later today. But should some of that moisture stream in over the mountains, we'll hold on to that potential for some light rain showers later this afternoon. Overall, though, this morning it is quiet across the vast majority of South Central outside of coastal regions, primarily through Prince William Sound, where we've seen most of the activity sticking around through a large portion of this week. So from Valdez out towards Cordova, you can see some of that light to moderate rain showers as you head through parts of Thompson Pass. You may hold on to the potential for some wintry mix to start off your Thursday morning. So looking at that precip total forecast through the remainder of today, you can see primarily out towards Prince William Sound, but later this afternoon into the evening, you can see some of that moisture streaming into parts of South Central through the valley into western parts of the Kenai. That's where we could see a stray shot, if not some scattered areas of some rain showers. So we'll be watching for that later today. Otherwise, expect dry conditions to remain with us, and those temperatures once again warming back into the 40s and the 50s, although slightly cooler due to a bit more cloud coverage to be expected. I'll have more on that in that 7-day for you coming up.
We begin this morning with Capitol coverage where, once again, education funding is a top priority with lawmakers.
Just days after Governor Dunleavy vetoed a $1,000 increase to the state's school funding formula, the Senate Finance Committee is offering a new plan. On Wednesday, lawmakers amended House Bill 57, originally a cell phone policy bill, to include a $700 boost to the base student allocation. The bill is still in committee where more changes could come.
Meantime, the governor posted on X saying the bill still lacks education reforms necessary to gain his support, but he's open to compromise.
Those solutions are out there. They need to be worked.
Senate minority members spoke out after a key education committee meeting was canceled. The state's largest school districts were expected to weigh in on Governor Dunleavy's education bill, HB 204, which proposes a $560 BSA increase, along with charter school and correspondence school program changes.
We still have numbers we haven't been able to solve. And that's one of the big parts of this argument, why we find ourselves in deficit spending. And I believe the Senate Finance co-chairs were trying to make that clear when they spoke yesterday on the floor to say, look, this is not something that that is just easily solvable. We have to find ways to pay for this. We can't just say, yes, we want to do it. It has to make sense. And we do have, as well, a constitutional requirement to balance the budget.
The bill is now in the House Finance Committee, and lawmakers hope to reschedule the meeting next week.
The Anchorage Assembly has officially certified this year's municipal election. 4 new members took the oath of office: Aaron Baldwin-Day, Jared Gerker, Keith McCormick, and Yarrow Silvers. Chris Constant remains as chair, while Anna Brawley takes over as vice chair. And the next regular assembly meeting, it is scheduled for Tuesday, May 6th at 5 o'clock. Now, there are several significant items currently on the agenda, and that includes housing tax incentives, the possibility of a sales tax proposition, and appropriations for infrastructure and public safety. These funds could cover everything from parks and recreation to fire protection. Well, the Port of Alaska is about to get its biggest upgrade since it opened in 1961, with old structures showing their age and new demands on the way. Crews are gearing up for a massive modernization, including a brand new terminal worth more than $800 million. Joe Allgood takes us to the docks, where the work is just beginning.
Well, there they go.
Yeah. It's an air show every day.
In between flyovers from nearby J-Bear, Port Director Steve Rebuffo described coming changes to the Port of Alaska.
This is all that's going to get demolished as part of the Terminal Number 1 construction project.
The port, largely unchanged since its opening in 1961, is showing signs of its age.
The condition of the facility is in a place where if we continue to do nothing, all it's going to take is one more big earthquake to drop the entire thing in the water.
And so it's slowly being replaced, piece by piece.
Little by little, over time, the modernization program's goal is to replace everything that is in the water here with brand new, built to modern standards.
The next piece, a new Terminal 1, for which the municipality recently awarded a contract of more than $800 million.
It's a huge undertaking, and it's 2025, and nothing is cheap.
For that price tag, the terminal will increase in size to accommodate new ship-to-shore cranes. At 100 feet in width, the new cranes will be approximately 3 times as wide and twice as tall.
So you couldn't put those new cranes on this dock even if you wanted to.
But Rebuffo said the change has to be a calculated one.
If you build it, they will come. It used to be the mentality up here. That's long past, because if you build it and it's too big just in case, you've got to maintain it.
Not to mention the logistical challenges such an undertaking presents. A short construction season, rapidly changing and rising tides, and of course, not disturbing the locals.
You can look out here and you can watch the cooking of beluga whale swim right by the dock.
And while all that is happening,
you have to have in your solution how you stay open while you're building all the new stuff.
it will be approximately 5 years before the new terminal is complete. But that's not the end of the modernization project. The biggest change in the port's history. And
this is probably the biggest infrastructure project that the state of Alaska has ever seen since maybe the Trans-Alaska Pipeline.
Joe Allgood, Alaska's news source.
According to the port's numbers, it serves as Alaska's primary cargo gateway, managing about 75% of all inbound freight, which makes it responsible for distributing goods to over 90% of Alaskans.
New dashcam video shows the moment a truck slams into Pelmeni Restaurant in downtown Anchorage, then speeds off. The hit and run happened Sunday night, and while the damage is clear, who was behind the wheel is still unknown. Anchorage police say the search for the driver continues, and the owner says there is no timeline yet for repairs. Witnesses describe the suspect as a man between 25 and 30, approximately 6'3", with an athletic build. Covering the interior this morning, a high-profile murder case that shocked Alaska is back in the spotlight. The man convicted in the 1993 murder of Sophie Sergey is now appealing his case, claiming his rights were violated during the investigation and trial. Alex Bengal has the latest from the courtroom.
Stephen Downs is currently serving a 75-year sentence for the crimes after his conviction in February 2022. But he was able to remotely attend Monday's appeals court hearing, which took place in Anchorage. His attorney claiming investigators were violating Downs' privacy by using a family member's match with DNA found at the crime scene. The state rebutting that there is no right to privacy when DNA is left at a crime scene. Downs' appeal further argued the trial court was wrong to exclude from evidence a confession reported secondhand to Alaska State Troopers in 2009. To this point, the state supported the exclusion, calling the report hearsay and arguing that Kenneth Moto, who reportedly made the confession, had already taken a DNA test and been excluded. Moore has denied involvement with Sergei's murder. It is unclear at this point when the court will rule on Downs' appeal. Alex Bengal, Alaska's news source.
The court has not said when a decision on the appeal will be made. We'll continue to follow this case and bring you any updates.
We do realize it's going to be some impacts to the public. We've been trying to get the message out to travelers to plan ahead, give themselves some extra time, make alternative arrangements if they can.
If you commute between Anchorage and the Mat-Su, your morning drive just changed. The northbound Knik River Bridge is now closed for repairs, with all traffic using the southbound side.
Yeah, speed limits are lowered, fines are doubled, and transportation officials are urging everyone to slow down and expect lane changes. Lauren Maxwell shows us why staying alert, especially during rush hour, is so important.
Well, that's right. The DOT is making what it's calling much-needed improvements to the Knik River bridges here on the Glen Highway, and they're doing it one bridge at a time. Wednesday morning, the northbound Knik River Bridge was closed for repairs that are expected to take a month. While that's happening, traffic is diverted onto the southbound bridge. In the morning, 2 lanes are open heading into Anchorage, with a single lane going north to the valley. That pattern switches right around 11 a.m. to accommodate the evening commute back to the valley, with 2 lanes open northbound. The DOT says it knows it's a lot, and people will need to pay attention.
When you're driving through the work site, there's a lot of easy distractions. We have narrower lanes, we've got workers, we've got equipment in the area. So please slow down, pay attention to the speed limits, and be courteous to your fellow drivers.
The speed limit through the project is 45 miles an hour, and traffic fines are double for people who don't obey. Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's news source.
Up next, the gift of life after life. April is National Donate Life Month, a time to honor organ and tissue donors.
How one Alaska mom is giving back in a unique way, and how her placenta donation is helping heal others. Plus,
could we see calmer trade waters in less than a month? I'm Jared Hill with what President Trump says about the future of tariffs after a warning from some major American retailers.
Still holding on to fairly quiet conditions, although we could see a chance for some late afternoon showers. I'll have more on that, but first at sunrise, coming in at 6:09 in Anchorage, steadily gaining daylight along the slope, sitting at 18 hours and 20 minutes of daylight. Chaotic. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back here on your Thursday.
yeah, and things are warming up. Aaron, what's the forecast looking like?
Oh, we are seeing those temperatures once again making a run back into the upper 40s and lower 50s. We hit 53 degrees yesterday, which was the warmest day in more than 200 days. Our normal high this time of year is right around 49 degrees. So we've been able to see those temperatures a few degrees above what we typically see for April standards. In fact, the average high temperature for April is right around 45.1 degrees. This is the overall average high for the month of April. Notice as we transition into May, that's where we're easily going to begin to see those temperatures making a run near 60 degrees as our average high continues to climb, which by July, we'll see that average high sitting in the upper 60s. We're waking up this morning to 36 in Anchorage, 34 degrees in Fairbanks, 14 in Kotzebue. We're holding on to some unsettled weather through the Aleutians, and ongoing rain showers continue out towards southeast, where we'll see an additional ½ inch to 1 inch of rainfall expected through the remainder of today. Those upper air temperatures continue to show that we are going to slowly see warmer conditions building back in across a large portion of the state. More so as you head from the interior north to the slope, where we've been holding on to some of these cooler conditions the past couple of days. We are going to erode away those cooler weather pattern that we've been holding on to. So by week's end, areas along the slope will see the return to those temperatures back in the mid-teens. Could possibly even see some upper teens in the forecast as this warmer weather pattern continues to build back in across the state. We've got those temperatures today, upper 40s and lower 50s looking possible. We will see a slight increase in cloud coverage later this afternoon. This comes from that rain that we're seeing out towards Prince William Sound. That will build inland, bringing the potential that we could see a chance for some showers later this afternoon. If we don't see any showers, we still will see that potential for some of those clouds to increase. So we'll be watching for that later today. Out towards southeast, you can see that rain begins to lighten up into Friday, becoming more scattered in nature. And then across south central, we're largely going to to trend on the dry side, but we can't rule out some stray activity to close out the week, more so out towards the coast. But we're going to see a stretch of some mix of sun and clouds staying with us. And those temperatures will continue to remain fairly nice. Upper 40s to near 50 for southeast with those wet and breezy conditions remaining. We've got that chance for showers across the Kenai. And again, slightly cooler than yesterday, but only about a degree or two cooler than what we did see across South Central for your Wednesday. 45 in Whittier today, 48 degrees in Golcana. We'll see those temperatures breaking into the lower 50s through the valley later today. And again, watch for that chance for some evening showers that could build into parts of South Central. And we've got some breezy conditions that could be possible later this afternoon with max winds up to about 20 miles per hour. Outside of that chance for some showers and some lingering activity for coastal regions, you can see that mix of sun and clouds staying with us with daily highs flirting with the lower 50s.
All right, thanks, Aaron, for the update. In honor of National Nurses Week, healthcare workers stepped out of the hospital and into the community at the APU Atwood building. The Nurses in Your Neighborhood event it brought together more than 20 local nurses to share advice, answer questions, and inspire future caregivers. The Alaska Nurses Association hopes events like this will spark interest in the profession or at least give people a greater appreciation for what nurses do.
It's helping people, and it's giving back to our community and providing a source of not just information, but I think hope for our community of what we're really doing for our community in the way of nursing.
Organizers hope to expand the event to more communities. According to the Board of Nursing, Alaska has nearly 28,000 licensed RNs as of 2024, but hospitals still report a 22% shortage in registered nurses.
It's National Donate Life Month, a time to honor organ and tissue donors and raise awareness about how lives can be saved or healed through donation. Life Alaska Donor Services, the state's tissue and eye bank, is spotlighting a lesser-known way to give, donating the...
It is such a revolutionary tissue. It is regenerative, and there's nothing else like it.
The organization says placenta donation can help treat burn wounds, ulcers, and other medical conditions. One mom from Palmer has donated after both of her deliveries, saying the process required no extra steps during labor and delivery. Her message to other parents: if you don't have a plan for your placenta, it's worth learning more.
I grew a whole organ, along with the baby. And so why not put it to good use? Usually to be an organ donor, you're not alive anymore. So, so it's kind of cool to know that, I got the chance to help out people.
Life Alaska Donor Services says more than 100,000 people in the U.S. are on the organ transplant wait list, and more than 150 of them are Alaskans.
And people interested in becoming an organ donor could register online.
You've been listening to the Alaska's News Source podcast. Subscribe to have the latest episodes delivered to your library automatically.